bowling fans are back up in Sheboygan. Lakeshore Lanes once again the site for the Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational. And Joey, a pretty unique format we have here today for the finals. It's all about striking is basically it.
And who doesn't like that format? I mean, anytime you get tapped or leave a split, you can just press reset.
Absolutely. And it's only 6 frames long. You're going to see 5 bowlers in the first round. They're going to be bowling 6 shots consecutively. Take the top 3 bowlers out of that first round. They'll advance to the semifinals. After the second round, we'll take the top 2 for the championship. Big prizes out there today. Nice bonus prizes from Motive Bowling and from VisitSheboygan.com for the bowlers. And I'm ready to watch just a lot of strikes out there today, Joey.
Well, hopefully. They are on a challenging pattern. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, Kegel's beaten path. It's 41 feet in length, and we saw in practice some of the bowlers, if they got the ball out to the right, it just stayed there. So this isn't your normal league shot you're watching out here, everybody, today. Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan, once again, great host for us. We're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to come back and have our opening 6 shots from our first bowler for the Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned. Phil Brilo and Joe Serrard joining you today from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan for the 2014 Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational in our unique format. And Ryan Jastro stepping up here at Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. I want to thank the Hibbert family once again for hosting another great event here today. Enjoy with this fun format. It's kind of to Ryan's advantage. He's a guy who really likes to go out there and just crank it up and throw a lot of strikes.
Well, and he can do it all. I mean, he can slow hook it. He can go hard and straight if he needs to. And opening shot strike.
Perfect shot. And as we talked about in the opening with Kegel's beaten path pattern, it's not an easy pattern for these bowlers to get through. You're going to see if they get a ball out to the right, it's going to stay there. We've had a couple of bowlers during the tournament today losing into the gutter when they're trying to play around second arrow with a little bit of a belly. So not easy out here for these bowlers to get 6 strikes in their 6 shots if somebody does happen to do it. They'll get a $50 bonus cash or scholarship award depending on their age, and Ryan's on his way there with 2 for 2.
Pretty deep shot in the pocket. We can see Ryan, typical modern day game. He drifts left and then he slides right to kind of fill in the slot. High back swing, hand behind the ball, open-handed at the top of his backswing. And when we tested his rev rate, 540.
He really likes to strap up on the ball, but he's very easy and open with his hand while he's doing it. He's a bowler that's not afraid to get out there and practice and work on his game to get better. You see the hand snap through on the bottom, needs to hold, and that's the unusual 3-4 leave right there.
And you miss inside and you got a 540 rev rate. Well, again, and that rev rate, I'm sure he's toned down,
just re-rack it, yeah.
You know, as he's matured as a bowler. But if he's still 500 plus, we can see what happens. That's a 3-4, Phil.
Yeah, that's very unusual to see. You have to have quite the entry angle to get by the 3-pin with your bowling ball and still leave the 4.
Well, we've seen Robert Smith leave this. We've seen Pete Weber leave it on TV.
The good news for Ryan is he didn't have to shoot at, because all we care about today with our version of the home run derby is how many strikes you can throw out there, and he's up to 3 for 4 so far out of his 6 shot attempts. So definitely setting the pace for the other 4 bowlers to catch up to him. Remember, after the first round, we'll be taking the top 3 bowlers and advancing to the second round.
9-pin, the last pin to fall off the deck there, and he's sporting some classy-looking shorts there.
Absolutely. Weather's getting nice here up in Sheboygan, and beautiful day outside as we're taping this. A couple of these guys are considering bringing their golf clubs along, hitting some of the great golf courses they have up in Sheboygan County. And that held nicely. I thought I was going to go a little long on him. And
well, you know, he's creating just enough axis rotation to get that ball into a forward roll at the end of the pattern. Finished right behind the 5-pin, which splits the 8-9.
Prettiest shot you can throw out there, in my opinion. Looking to set the pace with 5 out of 6 if he can strike on this shot.
Well, and 5 out of 6 is pretty solid because, you know, taps happen, and Ryan has not gotten tapped. His only non-strike was an errant shot on his part.
Looks like he got that one a little bit wide, and it stayed there. Can't quite get that 10-pin out, but Joey, he sets the pace well there with 4 out of 6.
Yeah, 4 out of 6, a good showing.
Not too bad for Ryan. And
so you gotta describe this beaten path pattern. Is it sport compliant, Phil?
Oh, it's not quite sport compliant. It's 41 feet in length. There's a lot of oil on the outside, and as things happen to go along, I don't think the bowlers are going to be able to change it too much with only 6 shots at a time on the lane. A couple of practice shots between balls. And coming up next, we're going to have ourselves Billy Hibbert out of McGuanago. Billy, all of 16 years old, bowls out of Jay's Lanes down there. Billy, a high game. 3 times he's had 289 so far. Hasn't quite gotten over the hump on the 300 yet. 789 for high series earlier this year at Jay's Lanes in McGuanago. And we had the privilege of going out there. His dad, Ralph, runs a nice league for youth bowlers and adult bowlers to learn how to bowl in tougher conditions on Monday nights at Jay's during the summer. And we got a chance to see Billy throw the ball in tougher conditions, and he should be able to hang in there with bowlers like Ryan Jastro.
Well, I would think so. He's a shot maker. But that opening shot, very similar to what we saw on Ryan's last shot. Came in a little late behind the pocket, so he's going to either have to adjust his speed a little bit or make a little move on the lane. Because, again, Ryan carried every other shot he had in the pocket other than that one nose shot.
Yeah, and these bowlers only got a couple of practice shots before getting their time on the TV pair for this first round. So they need to make their changes and sight in early, and that's just out to the right. As we said earlier, this beaten path is not going to let those balls out to the right come back.
Yeah, and the pressure is now on as he needs to finish with a 4-bagger if he wants to continue.
Yeah, top 3 move on, and pretty much 4 would probably lock him in with Ryan as well. And Billy, on the back of his shirt, they're wearing the hashtag Billy Hibbert. I guess if you follow him on Twitter, I want to hashtag him, let him know you saw him on this Time Warner Cable SportsChannel telecast. Make sure you follow your tweets with hashtag Billy Hibbert.
Yeah, or as those of us that are north of age 50 would say, # Billy Hibbert.
Well, let's see if we can pound the pocket on this shot, and that is probably the harshest 710 I've seen in quite a while, Joey.
It came in pretty deep, and he made a little adjustment on the lane, and Billy goes, "What is going on here?"
Yeah, you just watched that 5-pin. Wow.
It wasn't much deflection.
Not at all. And you can see Billy's reaction here, the little eye roll. Can't believe he just got the terrible break.
Yeah, we know it's not always fair, Billy, but you know, I look on Billy's bio sheet. He's a 14-year veteran, and that's hard to say because he's only 16, yet he's a 14-year veteran, so he's a lot of experience.
Absolutely. Well, when you get a Hall of Fame parent like Danielle Hibbert for your mom and Ralph Hibbert for your dad, you know, you're going to be around bowling quite a lot. And, of course, his grandfather, the late, great Darryl Dobbs of ABC presidential fame. And a great shot there by Billy to come back, a little smile on the face. Now he knows he's locked in and going to carry.
Billy does have a high series of 789. And if I was a gambling man, I'd have to say he has a lock on shooting 800 probably before he's 20.
Oh, absolutely. Practices a lot down at Jay's Lanes with his family. We're going to see his brother Matt up next, trying to make the finals. First time in a while we've had 2 brothers make a TV show, and another good shot by Billy, but brings up that 10-pin.
You know, it's easy for us to analyze this, but another ball that came in a little late, so I'm sure Billy will learn by this. Sometimes you got to get that ball reading the lane sooner to get good carry, and other times, you know, a late hook will carry, but not today.
Yeah, he's just going right now, what do I have to do? And he's only has 1 strike so far out of his first 5 attempts. I don't think 2's going to make it to the next round, but you never know with 5 bowlers out here dropping down to 3 spots.
No, 2 is not going to make it today. Makes a ball change, quicker response, and labels the bucket.
Of course, the last one always carries when it really doesn't seem to matter. So Billy Hibbert with 2 strikes on the board. We're going to take a short commercial break. Next bowler up will be his brother Matt Hibbert, coming to you from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan, so make sure you stay tuned for the rest of this Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational. Lakeshore Lanes features 24 synthetic AMF lanes with the latest in automatic scoring and bumper bowling on all lanes. Strike Bar and Grill has one of Sheboygan's best kept secrets in their Friday night fish fry, while the Windjammer Banquet Hall can handle any of your party needs up to 275 people. Stop in and come see why Lakeshore Lanes is the best bowling center in Sheboygan.
I have a lot of viewers that ask me, why do you have so many of your tournaments at Castle Lanes? Well, Castle Lanes is a center that has an exceptional atmosphere. The charm of being in the Northwoods cabin while you bowl, an attentive staff on the lanes and in the lounge, all the big screen TVs and a free Wi-Fi hotspot, and being named in Bowler's Journal as one of the 95 places to bowl before you die, you have to bowl at Castle Lanes. That's why we love Castle Lanes, and you will too.
Phil Brilo and Joe Serrar back with you for the 2014 Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. Well, Matt Hibbert coming out here looking to get at least past his brother's score of 2 strikes in 6 attempts.
Well, Matt, 14 years of age, started bowling at age 3. I call him Matt the Masher. I think his number will be 5.
And a little light in that first shot. You can see with those power players, you see a lot of that with the 2-8-10 combinations when they come in a little light.
Maybe I should have rethought that a little bit, since there is a little OB right, and if you catch it, even with a higher rev rate. But yet Ryan Jastro did okay with it, but I think he may have been a little deeper and a little softer.
Exactly. You know, Matt's ball speed definitely very firm out here today. And I don't want to say anything, but in practice, he did put a couple into the gutter. So hopefully he's overcome that. He did make a ball change from where he was looking at.
He's inside a little deeper, and he caught that OB once again. And the number is dropping, Phil, making Ryan's 5 or 4 out of 6 look plenty good.
Absolutely. And yeah, Matt here can't strike on his last 4 attempts. It's going to lock in Ryan Jastro into round number 2. You can see he's got to figure out what he's got to do, and if I was in his shoes, I'd either have to switch to a more aggressive ball or get my feet back to the right a little bit on the approach.
Well, moving right means you're in the OB, but again, a ball with surface could be okay, or just soften it up a little like that and get it to make the corner. He's got the hitting power, but he's got to learn the lane play.
No doubt about that. And only 14 years of age, as you mentioned earlier, and only a few years experience on the lanes as a competitive bowler. He has been bowling since age 3, but he was part of the McGuanago Middle School bowling program when he was in 7th and 8th grade, and now a freshman at McGuanago High School bowling with his brother on their team. And they had a very successful year in McGuanago, made it to the high school state tournament.
That's why. And yes, there's the G ball you were talking about, and it may have only been a couple board error at the arrows, but down lane it's about a 18 board error.
Yeah, and there was just no chance of that ball recovering, and you see it right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's not your typical league shot out there. There's definitely an issue if you make a large error out to the right today.
But Matt would like to thank his mom and dad for their love and support over the years. And as he lives in a washout, we'll say some good things about Matt here. He'd also like to thank Bob Mackey. His favorite bowler, Sean Rash.
There we go. Sean just had a very successful PBA Wolf tournament, taking the first place on it and shooting a 300 on TV as well. So congratulations to Sean on that.
Yet Billy's favorite bowler, who is one of my favorite bowlers, Deanna Zavrajalova.
That is correct. Last year's Queen's champion, and Matt gets his 2nd strike there, ties his brother at 2, but both those Hibbert boys are going to need a lot of help if they're going to advance into the next round.
So what if there's a tie, Phil?
Then there'll be a single ball roll-off. If there's a tie to an advancing spot to round number 2, they'll break that tie. And hoping to avoid any type of tiebreaker, coming up now, Brent Boho. Brent out of Sussex, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I got to meet Brent the other day out at Jay's Lanes in that spring league that Ralph runs, and nice young man, 16 years of age, won 300 game under his belt.
And Brent, you've seen him recently. He finished in 3rd place at the Wisconsin High School State Boys Singles Tournament. He's made a couple of our shows recently as well. Won the High School Mixed Doubles Championship with Alyssa Athis out of Waukesha West High School. Brent goes to Marquette High School, and once again, one of those stinking wind-up two-handers, Joey.
Well, I mean, we're going to see more and more of these, and I don't know if I'd call them stinking. I know Dale Traber would.
Yes,
but,
indeed.
Brent knows how to strike. We've seen him string lots of strikes on some previous shows as well as in league.
Yeah, I mean, he had a very impressive 270 game on TV at the high school state tournament. Only left a 10-pin in the 1st frame and the 3rd frame in his opening match. So we know he can throw a lot of strikes out here, and this is another bowler who kind of tailors to his format, the high power game, looking to throw a lot of strikes in his 6 shots, and he's 2 for 2.
2 for 2, and Brent, the lone bowler today who began bowling his career late in life. He began at age 11. He was a 5-year veteran, but again, hard to learn much when you're 5, 6, 7, and 8. Whereas Brent, starting at age 11, your focus is better, your thought process is more clear. He's a pretty strong player for 5 years of play.
Absolutely, and he's developed that 2-hand style, drops it into his swing, does a nice job there, and just a little high leaving that 4-pin. So maybe a little bit of a pull on that shot, which is hard to believe when you have 2 hands on the ball. You can have one hand dominant and pull it a little bit more through the shot.
Or he could just miss in a little bit as well. His favorite bowler, Michael Fagan of the TVA fame.
Which is a one-hand, which is surprising. You'd think with a 2-handed bowler, we see most of the 2-handers we do have on our telecast, they're all Jason Belmonte fans because of the 2-handed style that he has.
Yeah, well, I think Brent beats a different drum sometimes.
Little help there, and you can just see he kind of came up the back of that ball a little bit more end-over-end roll, and never got that back-end finish on the pocket. And he's tied into a roll-off for sure, no matter what, with Matt Hibbert and Billy Hibbert at 2 with having his first 2 strikes, but now kind of lost the pocket a little bit. Needs to get one more strike to guarantee himself getting into the 2nd round. He's got 2 shots to do it here.
And could the pattern be changing? I would say yes, it could be, because you got all these players playing in a similar area, and those shots from that deep inside line, swinging it out to about 10 board, they add up, and he's got one more shot to strike, Phil.
Yeah, once again, a little overcorrection from that 210 he just left. Leaves himself a 4-pin. You can see a little frustration back at the ball return. He knows the pressure here. I mean, a little different format today. There's not a lot of times where you know the number you need to advance to a next round or a next part of a tournament before you step up to throw all of your shots. And so this is something all the bowlers said it's a little unique and it takes a little getting used to. Setting your pace, slowing yourself down, you're not following other bowlers. And that's going to need some help to carry. Wow.
And a bad break on his final shot, so we have a 3-way tie.
No matter what, we have some form of roll-off. It's just a matter of if Trevor Yonan, after the commercial break, can avoid getting into a tie at 2. Ryan Jastro leading us with 4 strikes in his 6 attempts. Join Joe Serrar and I back from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan in just a moment for the rest of this Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational. With leagues available for all ages and abilities, open bowling specials daily, and galactic bowling on Friday and Saturday nights, Anchor Lanes is Western Sheboygan County's Center for Fun. Phil Brilo and Joe Serrar with you today, calling all the exciting action for the 2014 Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational. Trevor Yonan stepping up, knows the number he has to beat out here is 2 strikes in his 6 attempts, and
Sounds easy, doesn't it, Phil?
You would have thought it would have been with the 3 of the 4 bowlers we had on before this. But 3 of our bowlers stuck at 2 right now. Matt Hibbert, Billy Hibbert, and Brent Boho. So in some way or form, there's going to be a single ball roll-off after Trevor gets complete with his attempts here. Nice and smooth out of the hand, and a little bit of that weak 10 pin we've seen a couple times today.
A little bit late in the pocket, and that number is looking tougher and tougher all the time.
Yeah, but you gotta go. First time on TV for Trevor, but he's got a little experience under his belt. You don't get to be a USBC Open team champion like he was with his team, Nicholas J's Pro Shop, in 2012.
But he was on TV. He was on Bold TV, sponsored by USBC, where they showed the previous year's winner, and he had a good showing.
Absolutely. His team does quite well. As one of his teammates, Andy Mills, we saw in the Shot Yonan Memorial Open, a couple of telecasts back here on Time Warner Cable SportsChannel, and Trevor gets himself off the schneid with his first strike.
Well, he could be the leader here if he gets a little 4-bagger here added to that 1-bagger he currently has.
A $50 award for 6 in a row for a perfect 6 shots today. Safe so far. I want to thank Sheboygan Tourism for putting up that cash award. If somebody were to happen to do it in the final match today, they would get a $100 bonus from Sheboygan Tourism. I want to thank them for their help with all of our telecasts up here in Sheboygan, and an interesting way to take the 5-pin out.
Very interesting way. I'm sure he doesn't blow the 5-pin to the right often.
I'm sure some of his teammates might give him a little fun when they see this telecast in the future.
Yeah, well, you know, Trevor's a 20-year veteran. He began bowling at age 3, as did Ryan Jastro, and they're both 23 years of age, so we have some similarities between their games. Author of 2 300 games, whereas Ryan has 8 under his belt.
Looking to get his 3rd strike in a row.
You could just see it just hesitate a little bit down lane, and when that ball gets caught up in that little bit of oil outside, it takes quite a bit to get it out of that.
So sitting at 2, tied with 3 of our bowlers so far, needs to get 1 strike in his last 2 attempts to advance to round 2.
Trevor's favorite PBA player, or favorite bowler, I should add, is E.J. Tackett.
E.J. Motive staffer and part of the prize package if you win the tournament this afternoon on TV is a Motive bowling ball. I want to thank everyone at Motive Bowling for sponsoring equipment during the last couple of our tournaments, especially the Shot Yonan tournaments and now this Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational.
Very good shot by Trevor there.
Gets him into round number 2 along with Ryan Jastro. We'll just have to have a sudden death roll-off after Trevor throws his last ball here.
He is guaranteed. So let's see if he does a little experimentation on this shot to see if there's maybe something a little better, either deeper or right. My guess is he'll move left. And pretty much high flush on that shot.
Firm gets himself that count of 4, so Ryan Jastro and Trevor Yonan guaranteed to be in the 2nd round of the Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational. Who's it going to be for round 2 out of Billy Hibbert, Matt Hibbert, and Brent Boho? My advantage, Joey, right now, got to thank Brent Boho. He's got the TV experience under his belt, coming off that big state high school tournament he had.
I give the advantage to Billy. Soft speed, knows how to play, good composure. And poor Matt has no one picking him, but so he'll probably be the one to advance.
Probably, and we're going to get that roll-off going right now. And the bowlers redrew for their order on how they're going to bowl in the roll-off. And Matt Hibbert, little pressure, starting things off. And you need the strike to advance out of this round. If 2 bowlers strike out of the 3, they'll roll off another frame until we break the tie. And once again, strikes are important. You do have to strike to advance. Looks pretty nice out of Matt's hand there.
A mittful there, and you know, sometimes when you're young, and he's 14 years of age, you don't really feel the pressure or know what pressure really is because you're just young, you're just a gunslinger, you're flinging it.
And just giving it his all right now, nothing to lose. And after he had his 2 strikes, he probably thought, I'm out. There's no doubt I'm out. And now you look at all 3 of these bowlers here, get a little chance at redemption. So Brent Boho makes a little move to the left from where he was, and it's not easy coming back on after sitting for a while, breaking a tie. You got to take it into account the other bowlers that played on the lane, and unfortunately for Brent, he's now out, going through the face and leaving that 3-pin.
Yeah, and we'll see what Billy's going to do. If he's going to read that reaction that Brent just got, if he's going to move even deeper. Well, he's checking the approach, and that's a good move because you got one shot. You don't want to stick and have that cause an errant shot.
Yeah, you never know if you stepped in something, if you're talking to somebody at the back of the lanes, even if you check the sole of your shoe, you just want to make sure your slide is consistent. So a smart move there on Billy's part. And you can do that during league play, tournament play, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't have a bowling ball in your hand, even if you were to go over the foul line, since you wouldn't have a bowling ball in your hand, it would not be considered an attempt at the pins.
Well, even if you had a bowling ball in your hand, if you don't release it, it's not a foul.
And that was a pretty nice release there by Billy. And wow, it's brother versus brother right here in the second round of our roll-off.
Yeah, Big Brother showed him how it's done, and
stayed with that ball change. Now, that was the ball that Billy changed to the last shot when he struck.
yeah, that easily could have left a 9-pin, so Billy, my suggestion, better bump it in a little bit, because that ball came in pretty deep.
So round 2 of our roll-off to see who advances to our semifinal round here at the Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational. Watch Matt Hibbert coming into your living room. Nice out of the hand. Oh, my.
Oh, that's a big break. And again, we're seeing this lane disappear a little bit on the inside. And there's a lot of high rev guys on that lane.
Absolutely. And if our viewers remember back to the Shot Yonan Memorial Open with Andy Mills in his last match, he had that lane disappear on him, and it cost him the title against Jason Wendt. Jason struggled a little bit as well, but Jason got back in the 10th frame, made that huge strike, and took home that $1,000 first place prize for the Shot Yonan Memorial Open. Well, it's either strike or go home here for Billy Hibbert.
Stays with the same ball. Deep inside line. Good extension. And a great shot and a bad break. And roll those eyes again, Billy, because you should have had that one.
Yes, indeed. A little half-hearted hug there by Matt. And yeah, just a bad break there for Billy Hibbert. And unfortunately for him, he's going home. But his brother Matt Hibbert advancing to the semifinal round here at the Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational. It'll be Matt Hibbert, Trevor Yonan, and Ryan Jastro bowling off for that big prize package today. Join Joe Serra and I back from Lakeshore Lanes at Sheboygan in just a minute for that semifinal round. With leagues available for all ages and abilities, open bowling specials daily, and galactic bowling on Friday and Saturday nights, Anchor Lanes is Western Sheboygan County's Center for Fun. Phil Bratlow and Joe Serra back with you from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan for the semifinal round of the 2014 Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational. With the semifinal round here, doesn't matter what you did in round number 1, all those strike totals are dropped. Bowlers once again throwing 6 shots out on the lanes. Top 2 bowlers out of this round will advance to the championship round.
Well, all 3 players, Phil, know how to play the inside part of the lane. They know not to get it quite that far right, and I'm sure Matt realizes that. Because that's the only part of the lane that seems to be causing any hang-up for the ball.
Once again, bowlers drew for their positions this round on which way they'd bowl. They're going to shoot all 6 shots at once.
So the 6 balls they have to throw at once?
Well, no. They'll throw in consecutive shots, unlike when you see our other telecast here in Time Warner Cable SportsChannel. I guess I should correct myself there, Joey. They'll be shooting 6 consecutive shots at a full rack of pins, trying to get as many strikes as they can, and that gets Billy 1 for 2.
And he just defies that oil on the outside part of the lane. He figured, I'm not going to throw it more inside. I'm just going to put more hand in it and bring it back that way.
Absolutely. To be young and strong like Matt is right there. You and I tried to do that, we'd probably be in traction for a week.
Yeah. And he is 14 years of age.
So, and a lot of viewers ask, how can we have youth bowlers and adult bowlers bowling together in a competition as Matt gets another strike? Well, USBC Rule 400 allows youth bowlers in singles competition to accept certain prizes if they bowl against adult bowlers, including taking prize money as scholarship money, or they can receive merchandise or gift card awards up to $500 in value. So as part of Matt's prize package today, if he were to win, he would get a Motive bowling ball and a $100 Visa gift card, courtesy of visitsheboygan.com. So well within the rights of that USBC rule to bowl against adult competition. looking for 3 in a row and 3 out of 4.
Three good shots in a row. All a little different. A little mix, a little high, deep flush, and I'll probably label the last one too.
Well, you know, the pace of play, you know, in league, other competition, you're following other bowlers. There's a certain rhythm that you can get into. You're out here throwing 6 shots in a row by yourself. You got to set your own pace and timing and rhythm. You got to make sure you take that second thought about what you're going to do out there. And how about that? I think it's our longest string of the day.
And that is a big shot, kicking that 10 off the wall, and that may be just enough to salt away a victory.
Well, we've seen 4 get through last round with both Trevor Yonan and Ryan Jastro having 4. Could that be enough to get into the championship round? Only time will tell.
We'll see if he catches the 5-bagger.
Looking for 5 out of 6. That's wide right. Yeah, no chance there.
Yep.
So
4 is the number, and that's a good number on this pattern.
absolutely sets the pace right now. So we're going to take a quick commercial break from Lakeshore Lanes to Sheboygan. We're going to come back with the rest of our semifinal round for the Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com. The number set for Ryan Jasark right now is 4 by our first bowler this round, Matt Hibbert. Top 2 bowlers from the semifinal round will advance to the championship match, and Ryan's got to feel pretty confident because he had 4 the first round, Joey.
Well, true, but it's been a while since he's thrown a ball on this pattern, and we'll see if he makes an adjustment off of all the play that's been taking place, and it doesn't look as though he did, but it doesn't seem as though it mattered.
Gets that high hard one into the pocket, no problem carrying that strike. Gets himself out for that 1 shot for 1 frame. Once again, somebody were to shoot all 6 strikes in this round, a $50 award from visitsheboygan.com. Ryan didn't make a ball change at all. Staying with that Silver Lane 1 ball. Small company out of state of New York.
Kind of an early rolling ball with not a lot of snap on the back end, more of a heavy arcing roll. Well, that transition is catching up with him there. That one definitely read up a little bit earlier than I think he was anticipating.
Yeah, leaves himself a 3-6-10. Good thing for him with this format today. Doesn't have to shoot at it at all.
That'd be nice in league, wouldn't it? You leave a spare, who cares? Move on.
That's right. So just count all the pins you knocked down on the first ball. And, you know, we like to try different formats on these Time Warner Cable Sports Channel telecasts. There's more than one way to mark score in the sport of bowling. You don't always just have to get a 300 game. I mean, today, perfect game would be 6 for our little short format. And a big pull there by Ryan, leaving that 5 pin on the crossover.
Yeah, and again, he may have to make a major move or this match will be Matt's because Ryan is running out of frames. He needs the next 3.
Exactly, just to tie Matt. Of course, depends on what Trevor does on the bottom as well. Trevor Yonan, our last bowler coming up this round. As we'll take the top 2 strikers from the semifinal round and move them in that championship match for that big bonus package from Motive Bowling and the Visa gift card from visitsheboygan.com. And
got the first one.
Back on the strike train, gives himself 2 out of 4 so far. And Ryan, he's a young man I've seen a lot of times. He used to work at New Berlin Bowl, does a lot of practice. He's still there. Bayview Bowl, nice little 12-lane center in the heart of Bayview. He bowls league there as well.
He bowls at Riviera Lanes as well, or at least he used to. I know that.
Yep.
Dan Doherty's place. So he moves around a little bit, checks out different lane conditions, bowls in our Monday Travel League, likes to experience varied house shots as well as sport shots.
So gets himself a double, and that gets him 3 out of 5. So if he can get this last strike here, he can get himself tied with Matt Hibbert and guarantee himself at least a roll-off to get into the championship match.
So this is a big shot right here.
Let's see if he makes any little adjustment on the approach. Nope, just knows where he's going to stand on there. Gets himself set into that 5-step approach. Unleashes it on the bottom, and 10 flush back.
Can't throw it much better than that.
Tell you what, Trevor Yonan's got his work cut out for him coming up here, Joey. We've got 2 bowlers here, Matt Hibbert and Ryan Jastro tied at 4. Let's see what Trevor Yonan can do as he steps up here at Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. So you've seen what your opponents have done right now, Joey. If you're Trevor Yonan stepping up here, do you take any different route to the pocket? Any type of, things you want to do differently to make sure you can get your 4 strikes at least and advance to the championship?
Well, I would say no, and typically bowlers of this caliber are used to throwing strikes 65 to 75% of the time on a hittable shot. So, and basically when you need 4 out of 6, that's 66% strike percentage. So he stays with his inside line, stays with the same ball, and gets a pretty nice result. I think it's all about getting it off your hand clean and throwing your best shot each time.
And you got to figure a little home field advantage here for Trevor. I mean, grew up bowling here at Lakeshore Lanes. His family's namesake tournament for his late brother Sean held here at Lakeshore Lanes as well. And once again, youth bowlers, take a look out for that second or third weekend of March next year. I'm sure Keith Yonan will announce that after the summer's done on when the Sean Yonan Memorial is going to be for the youth bowlers. And of course, the Sean Yonan Open next year will be that following day, that Sunday, that same weekend. So adult bowlers, keep an eye open on that as well. And a little bit of a ring 10 there for Trevor.
Yeah, he looked a little surprised by the reaction of the ball on that one, but he got it off his hand pretty good, it looked like, from here.
So Trevor wanted to thank Nicholas J's Pro Shop out in the La Crosse area where he went to school at Viterbo for a time. He's living back in the Sheboygan area now, but still gets his equipment drilled out there. And Joe, you have a lot of customers too that from all over the country that still see you for their equipment needs.
Well, we're kind of like hairdressers or barbers. You either like our style or you don't, and when you feel comfortable with your ball driller, you should stay with your ball driller.
I don't think Trevor liked the style on that pocket 710 right there. Very reminiscent of Billy Hibbert's back in the opening round with that quick blower 710.
But I didn't see Trevor roll his eyes quite as well as Billy did. Billy's got that down pat. Probably learned that from Ralph.
Well, Trevor 1 for 3 right now, which means he needs to strike out to force a three-way roll-off.
Say that 3 times fast.
He's not even going to try, and unfortunately for Trevor, with that 4-pin right there, that's going to take him out of the competition in this semifinal round and move Ryan Jastro and Matt Hibbert into the championship match. So, but not a bad day for Trevor, and of course, any news we can get to talk about the Sean Yonan Memorial, what a great tournament that is for youth bowlers and now adult bowlers up in the Sheboygan area, and all the sponsors of that tournament, especially Visit Sheboygan.com and the Sheboygan Tourism Board. We want to thank them for that. And Trevor just going through the motions, trying to maybe find something before the end. You don't want to just end up with 1 strike on 6 shots.
Yeah, and he's been close pretty much every shot, but close doesn't always cut it, and it's hard to make a ball change when you're only throwing 6 and you think it's you. You always think it's you first before you think it's the equipment.
Yeah. Well, what are the odds, Joey? It's the last shot of his match. It doesn't matter. Odds are it's going to carry.
It will strike. Yeah. About 99% chance.
Nice out of the hand, and not quite leaves that 4-pin.
Not Trevor's day today, nor ours.
I guess not, but we're going to have a good championship match coming back from Lakeshore Lanes to Sheboygan between Matt Hibbert and Ryan Jastro. Make sure you join us from Lakeshore Lanes for that in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mound Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. With leagues available for all ages and abilities, open bowling specials daily, and galactic bowling on Friday and Saturday nights, Anchor Lanes is Western Sheboygan County's Center for Fun. Phil Brilo and Joe Serrar joining you here from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. We've seen a lot of strikes thrown in the first 2 rounds, and now it's time for our championship match. The handshake between the 2 finalists here at the Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational. Matt Hibbert drew the number 1 slot for this championship match, and a little different than what you've seen the rest of the day, folks. They're going to be alternating shots for their 6 shots. Most strikes wins the championship today, and a great start there by Matt.
Yeah, and we're going to see testament to why young players like to see some revs on their ball. The match, you add them up, Phil, and we're near 1,100 rev rate for these 2 young players. That would be like you, me, and Chris Barnes together, and we're still shy of their rev rate. At Chris Barnes being, say, 450, you and I at 300 each.
Yeah, absolutely. And wow, that one's just a big-time pitch out there by Ryan. Not sure if that was a little...
Just a bit outside, as Bob Euchre would say. And
case of the TV final nerves? I mean, it's the first TV finals for both of these young men.
I don't think Ryan's feeling too much of that. But, you know, an errant shot's an errant shot. Everybody has them.
Yeah, and the good news for Ryan, at least, pretty tough spare there with the 1, 2, and 7. Doesn't have to shoot at, just get to reset the rack and wait for your next turn. After 1 frame, Matt Hibbert leading 1-0. Pretty nice out of his hand again, scrambles it up, can't quite get the 10 out.
Now all Ryan's got to do is strike and they're even. So that's the fun part about this format where you alternate shots. You know, if you got a lead, you can put the screws to your opponent right away, or you can let them right back in on 1 shot.
Absolutely. You know, it's kind of the excitement of a hockey shootout or a soccer shootout right now, or, you know, a home run derby type of deal where, you know, you're looking for the big score, you're looking to make it happen quick and really, as you said, put the screws to your opponent as quick as you can, put a little pressure on.
Let's see if Ryan just makes a good shot, stays with the same ball.
Pretty nice out of his hand, creeps a little high, leaves a 4-pin.
And he hasn't quite had the same look he had in his opening 6 shots. It's definitely starting up sooner, and that could be why he sent that first shot a little bit further right. I think he's got to make a big move in and soften it up maybe just a touch.
Yeah, and with only 4 frames left, not a lot of time to do it. Still down 1-0 to Matt Hibbert here. Once again, part of the prize package for championship here today, Motive Bowling Ball, a $100 Visa gift card courtesy of visitsheboygan.com. If you're looking for something to do this summer, take that trip just about an hour north of Milwaukee and check out everything Sheboygan County has to offer. And Matt now creeps a little bit high, leaving a 4-pin.
Right, and so he's letting Ryan in the match here.
Well, it's taken 4 to win each of the first 2 rounds, and well, both of our bowlers here would have to strike out to reach 4, so I don't think it's, I think 3 may be the magic number of this match. But even if Ryan Jastrok's going to get the 3, he needs to start with this shot in his 3rd attempt. He's really almost hugging that ball return at the start of the approach. Wheels it out of his hand nicely. Comes high again, though.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's got to make a big move in, and he's using a ball with some surface, much more surface on it than Matt's ball. And we know Ryan can throw it harder, but you don't want to force a ball through the break point area with speed when it has a slow response nature to it.
Well, the good news for Ryan, at least, is in this round, he's not as far behind as he would have been in rounds 1 or 2. He does have 0 after his 3 shots, but he's only behind 1-0. Let's see what Matt Hibbert can do here. And
it's a big shot here from Matt. He can take control of it here with a strike.
How about that?
And he gets it done.
10 back.
But again, Matt's looks a little better. A little cleaner through the front and mid lane, and definitely enough recovery. So Ryan knows this is do or die right here.
Yeah, down 2-0. Needs to get a strike on the board to have any chance of at least getting a tie this match the way that Matt has been striking.
Hard to tell if he's deeper or not, but he got the reaction. So he's still within 1.
2-1 after 4 shots. But right now, if Matt Hibbert can strike, the worst he's going to guarantee himself is a roll-off. And that would force Ryan Jastro to strike on both of his last shots to get to roll-off territory. Pulls up in that shot a little bit on the bottom, and that's what happens when you pull up on it a bit. You leave that 3-6, 7-10. He still has a lead, slight as it is, by 1 strike.
He has a lead, but his opponent has 1 more shot to tie for that coveted 2-strike mark.
Ryan, let's see what
and we know this pattern can get difficult like this because you beat up one part of the lane, especially with high rev rates, or balls that have a little bit less polish on them where there's a little dullness to them. That oil disappears.
And we know there's no room to the right. These bowlers know they're not in their league shot. They can't just pitch it right and have it come back. And once again,
left right off the hand.
And now it's down to frame number 6.
Well, he either locks it up here if Matt can strike, or he gives Ryan 1 more chance.
And who says these different formats in bowling can't be fun? I know they're saying they want to get bowling in as an Olympic sport, and sometimes if people aren't used to the scorekeeping in regular bowling with strikes and spares and counting your next 2 shots on a strike and that, this could be a format the Olympics could use.
Well, we know the younger generation is not used to scoring because they don't score.
And speaking of scoring, how about a victory score with that messenger?
He gets her done, and Ryan, no matter what you do now, he's going to lose by 1.
You shoot your last one.
We're going to let Ryan get up here, shoot his last shot for a little prestige. He's still got a smile on his face, so you know he had a pretty good day. He's still going to walk out of here with a motive bowling ball.
But I did tell Ryan, years ago, I told Ryan, it's good to be young, and here he gets beaten by a younger bowler, 9 years younger at age 14, and Ryan a veteran at 23.
Yeah, and now our youngest TV champion ever, Matt Hibbert, as you said, at the age of 14. A great match here from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. Matt Hibbert takes it 3-1, and Joe Serrano will be back from Lakeshore Lanes to wrap up the Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned.
Ryan lost his load.
Yep. Lakeshore Lanes features 24 synthetic AMF lanes with the latest in automatic scoring and bumper bowling on all lanes. Strike Bar and Grill has one of Sheboygan's best kept secrets in their Friday night fish fry, while the Windjammer Banquet Hall can handle any of your party needs up to 275 people. Stop in and come see why Lakeshore Lanes is the best bowling center in Sheboygan. Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com. Well, Joey, Lakeshore Sheboygan Invitational, our first one's in the books. Fun format where it was just strikes were all that mattered. Didn't see as many as I thought would be out there today, and tough lane conditions, tough things changing around. Got to the championship match, though, and who would have thought the youth of Matt Hibbert would have outdone the experience of Ryan Jastro?
Not me. I mean, we had a lot of power on the show today, but the pattern kind of humbled them, as it would humble anyone. When there's not a lot of missed room right, you feel a little closed in at times, and the pattern definitely changed as we saw the action continue.
Yeah, and you get the pressure of knowing you just needed strikes. Spares weren't going to matter for you. You just needed to get strikes all the way through. And Ryan Jastro probably looking at maybe wanting to do something different. He had those 6 shots in that championship match to throw over again.
Yeah, I think if Ryan would do it over again, it would either be a ball change right away or he would have made a big leapfrog move, meaning at least 4 or 5 boards left with his feet, a couple boards with his targeting it to a fresh part of the lane.
Would have been really good for him, but hey, Matt Hibbert, 14 years old, our youngest TV champion ever here on our Time Warner Cable Sports Channel telecast in our 7th season with them. Looking forward to season number 8 coming up in the fall, but we've got plenty of bowling action coming up. We've got the ladies trios coming up, the Wisconsin Championship ladies trios from Classic Lanes in Greenfield. Gina Darashevsky, a great host there. That's going to be our next show you're going to see here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. For my friend Joe Serrar, Bowlers Pro Shop, I'm Phil Bridlow. Parents, take the kids bowling. They'll have fun for life. We'll see you in that next show from Classic Lanes in Greenfield.